Medieval crime? Lakes and rivers sometimes act as more than fun places to pass a hot day, dipping in and out of cool water to ease the discomfort of a blazing summer sun. They've been known to function as crime scenes and graves too. Sometimes criminals dump their victims into deep waters to hide the evidence, so to speak. After all, unless law enforcement officials know where to look, seldom do divers explore an area's waters just on a hunch bodies might lay on the bottom. For that reason, a lake can make an excellent cover for a bad guy looking to dispose of his victim. Lakes and rivers are also the places where literally hundreds of thousands of soldiers, perhaps millions of them who participated in the wars that have occurred globally over many generations, have fallen after battle. In World War II alone, the number of soldiers who slipped beneath the surface of oceans, rivers and lakes across Europe is almost inconceivable. They died and fell into the murky depths, their bodies never recovered. That was the fate of a medieval soldier whose remains were recently discovered in a lake in Lithuania. Experts know he was a soldier because 2 knives and a sword were found near the body, all of which were amazingly well preserved, said the archaeologists and divers involved in the retrieval. Also, he was still wearing the leather boots he died in, and other leather items were found near the remains, which experts think are straps for the knives. All this bounty for archaeologists was found 9 meters down in Lake Sveja, the largest lake in Lithuania and the source of many other valuable, centuries-old discoveries, reports Live Science. It is near the Dubingiai Bridge, located near the ruins of Dubingiai Castle, once an imposing, important structure in medieval Lithuania and vital to the country's defense against outside threats. Once the remains, and the relics found alongside them, are restored and properly preserved by the University of Vilnius, they will be put on display at the Lithuanian National Museum. This discovery is not the first turned up in Lake Sveja. Plenty of other items from the 16th and 17th centuries have been found during previous explorations of the lake's sediment. Teams have found pieces of broken down boats, a ferry, and even parts of the old Dubingiai Bridge that once stood across the lake. The lake has been explored on and off since 1998, when developments in underwater archaeology equipment made it possible for the sediment to be examined yet left undisturbed. This find in particular is a memorable one, experts say. According to English archaeologist Elena Prankenate, the underwater find, which was not a burial, was unique and the first of its kind in Lithuania. However, the cause of the soldier's death has not yet been confirmed, though team members suggest he may have been one of the soldiers guarding the castle hundreds of years ago. It was once part of the Grand Duchy of Lithuania, part of a dynastic union, as it is called, with the Kingdom of Poland. Work excavating Lake Sveja will continue, and experts hope there may be more valuable discoveries awaiting them as divers keep sorting through the deep water. The soldier's remains were amazingly well preserved because of the sediment, which seemed to freeze the body, and its accompanying artifacts in time, revealing even more details about who this young man was. Are there more like him waiting to be found on the lake's bottom? Only time, and the hard work of divers and archaeologists, will tell. A team from the Museum of London Archaeology have excavated the largest AngloSaxon cemetery in Northamptonshire at Overstone Gate. Excavations were conducted over the course of 12 months, in preparation for the construction of a housing development. The team from Mola have exhumed 154 burials dating from the Anglo-Saxon period, AD 450 to 1066, containing grave goods that total around 3,000 excavated artifacts. Some of the discoveries include 150 brooches, 75 wrist clasps, 15 rings, thousands of beads, and 15 chatelaines, a decorative belt hook or clasp worn at the waist with a series of chains suspended from it. Various weapons have also been excavated, including 15 shield bosses, 40 knives, and 25 weapons, along with domestic objects such as bone combs and cosmetic kits. The team also revealed an adjacent Anglo-Saxon settlement that contained 22 core structures, with another 20 structures in scattered locations. Prehistoric evidence included 3 Bronze Age round barrows, 46 prehistoric burials, and 4 Bronze Age buildings. The Overstone Lee site contains by far the biggest Anglo-Saxon cemetery ever found in Northamptonshire. It is rare to find both an Anglo-Saxon settlement and a cemetery in a single excavation. The excavations will help us understand the way people lived in both the Anglo-Saxon period, around 1,500 years ago, as well as the Bronze Age, nearly 4,000 years ago. The human remains will tell us about diet, health and even the origins of the people themselves, whilst their buildings can teach us what their day-to-day lives were like, and how they utilized the local landscape in these two different periods. Massive 7,000-year-old structures with a rounded or circular plan known as roundels discovered near Torin, consisted of ditches up to 3 meter wide and 2 meter deep, archaeological research shows. The enormous structures, which required the work of dozens of people equipped with bone-digging tools, were discovered in 2019 by doctoral students Mateusz Sosnowski from the Institute of Archaeology of the Nicolaus Copernicus University in Jerzy Czerniak from the Institute of Archaeology and Ethnology of the Polish Academy of Sciences in Warsaw, while analyzing data from Google Maps and Google Earth. In arable fields in the Lysimais area, the researchers noticed outlines of two round structures approximately 85 m in diameter around 5 kilometers from each other. They consist of a system of 3 oval ditches with a common center. The researchers described them as sensational, as these types of buildings had not been found so far east of the Vistula River before. This year, a team of archaeologists led by Jerzy Czerniak began field research of the two structures. Analyses were carried out with a magnetometer which enabled them to look underground without interfering with the surface. As a result, researchers reconstructed their course in places where they were not visible from a bird's eye view. They also started limited excavations with financial support from the Lysimais commune. Mateusz Sosnowski from the Nicolaus Copernicus University in Torin said, "These were huge structures from about 7,000 years ago. They required the effort of dozens of people. Bone or horn tools were probably used to dig the ditches. Excavations were not easy either, even though we were certainly equipped with better tools than the roundel builders." During excavations, the archaeologists took samples of burnt coals from inside the ditches to carry out C-14 radioactive carbon isotope analyses and determine the approximate age of the structures. They also found dozens of fragments of ceramic vessels. Sosnowski said, "Most of the shells we found belong to the incised linear pottery culture community. It is a surprise for us, because until now roundels were believed to be built by later communities, associated, among others, with the punctured linear pottery culture. The roundel was probably built in the place of an earlier settlement, but it cannot be ruled out that the structure is older than we thought. Expert analysis will shed light on this issue." Animal bones and antler fragments were also discovered in the ditch, which they suspect came from rituals. Roundels are the oldest examples of monumental architecture in Europe. Archaeologists believe that they served as ceremonial centers, temples, or places of assembly. They were usually surrounded not only by concentric ditches, but also palisades, so they could also have defensive function. So far, more than 130 have been located, a third of them in Austria. The remaining structures are in today's Hungary, Slovakia, Czechia and Germany. In 2014, only 3 such structures were known in Poland. We currently know of approximately 10. Archaeologists conducting excavations in a field near the village of Slusko in Poland have discovered thousands of silver artifacts dating back nearly 900 years. A team from the Institute of Archaeology and Ethnology of the Polish Academy of Sciences made the discovery after researchers were sent to photograph a previous coin haul site, Poland's largest coin haul discovered in 1935, and were informed by the local villagers of rumors of another buried treasure in the vicinity. This led to a systematic study at the intersection of 3 plots of land in the northern part of the village. After failing to find any evidence of the treasure, the team turned their attention to a field near the village road where they discovered a ceramic vessel containing denarii, with the overall hull consisting of 6,500 silver coins arranged in linen pouches, silver ingots, 2 gold rings, and 2 wedding bands. Archaeologist Dariusz Wiksolkowski from the Institute of Archaeology and Ethnology Polish Academy of Sciences said, the rings were probably made using precious stones, polished in a semicircular way. They are additionally decorated with golden granules. The larger ring is tapered and polygonal, and the smaller one is bar-shaped, with punched holes. One of the rings has an inscription which reads, "Lord, may you help your servant Maria," which researchers believe may have belonged to a Ruthenian princess named Maria, who was the daughter of Sviatoslavovich Iziaslavich, Prince of Kiev, and the sister-in-law of the 12th century Polish king, Boleslaw III Wrymouth, also known as Boleslaus III the Wrymount. Dr. Kadzierski told First News that, "We know that at that time, the wife of Boleslaw the Wrymouth was a Russian princess named Zbislawa. According to the literature, she was supposed to have a sister Maria, who was married to Pyotr Lostowik, a Polish noble and ruler Mosnoladka, of part of Silesia." Following the capture of Prince Volodar of Peremyshl by Pyotr Lostowik, it is believed that the hall may have been part of a dowry intended for Maria that was hidden near Slusko. Professor Adrian Jusupovic from the Institute of History of the Polish Academy of Sciences in Warsaw suggests that her husband's position and property may have prompted her to deposit the dowry, which was later joined by the wedding ring.